Hello everyone. Welcome to our webinar for today. A little later time than we're used to, but hey, it works for us. I think everybody knows the drill. The attendees can raise their hand. I forgot to mention to the guest panelists, you don't have a hand to raise. So if you'd like to say something, you're just going to have to say, excuse me, and butt in when necessary, okay? Everybody knows to keep themselves on self-mute whenever possible, and you guys all know how to type us the little questions in the chat boxes. So, doesn't do any good to click on one computer when you actually have the presentation on the other. Okay, our guest presenters today are Rachel, Heather, and Tiffany. We are recording this. It will be available with all of the other webinars, but there won't be any slides posted after this webinar. There's no new material. It's just the three presenters. If there are any questions that we can't answer today, we will follow up with the usual channels. Okay, so Rachel, are you ready to tell us all about yourself?
I'm ready. Okay. Hi everybody. My hypothetical ray chart is Soul Ray 1, Personality Ray 2, Mind Ray 4, Astral Ray 2, Sub-Ray 6, Physical Ray 3. I'm not sure about the astral as I don't identify strongly with Ray 6 in my ray chart, but I have lots of it in my astrological chart. So the hemispheres. I have 7 planets in each of the hemispheres, therefore fairly balanced. The quadrants. The second and the fourth quadrants are the strongest. The second quadrant, introverted group-initiated activity, I experienced as a lack of inner security in my younger life, which was fostered, initiated by others in my family, and the subsequent overcoming of that. It has been difficult for me to express myself in groups. Fourth quadrant, extroverted, self-initiated activity. I have a strong sense of responsibility to the community and humanity. I initiate activity for myself that transmutes the lower nature in readiness for greater service. I have a Cancer Ascendant, transmitting Ray 3 and Ray 7. Exoteric ruler is the Moon, Ray 4. In Leo, Rays 1 and 5 in the 3rd house. Esoteric ruler is Neptune, Ray 6, in Sagittarius, Rays 4, 5 and 6 in the 6th house. It is the soul's intention as it works through a Cancer Ascendant to shift from Ray 6 to Ray 2 astral body experiences. So, bearing that in mind, I experienced my early to midlife as being shy, timid and defensive. The world was a dangerous place and all perceived threats were real. Fearful of life and others, I built a protective lair that kept others out. Wherever I've been, I've never felt homesick nor too attached to any particular place. Wherever I am, that's my home. So, let isolation be the rule, and yet the crowd exists. Isolation certainly ruled, and I lived my life through my peripheral vision without connecting fully to others. It was painful for me to deal with others. Later, due to abuse in my childhood, I was diagnosed with PTSD, a dissociative disorder. Dissociative disorders are severe forms of isolation. Neptune, with its hypersensitivity, implicates an aversion to life, and this was true of my 20s, where escapism, dissociation, and a desire to opt out ruled. I build a lighted house and therein dwell. I needed to build my intellect and strengthen my mental body whilst purifying my emotional body. I did this initially through years of therapy, literally throwing light onto the abuse and the lower nature of cancer and bringing them all out from the darkness. I was also searching for a spirituality that encompassed or went beyond all religions, which was how I found the ageless wisdom teachings. When I became strong enough, I began to start to build a lighted house through studying the ageless wisdom teachings, bringing the practical applications of those teachings into my life and through meditation. Ray 3 weaknesses would have been isolation, inaccuracy in details, which I still need to be careful about, restlessness, disorder, spreading myself too thin, and absent-mindedness. In times of high anxiety, my mind would literally shut down. I have learnt to love following the effects back to the cause and can now follow the cause to the effects. I do not worry myself or others over trifles and have developed the ability to concentrate. In life, I have found myself in payroll and management accounts, mainly budgets and overview of finances. Ray 7. Early in my life, I had a strong aversion to any routines which I would actively avoid. A fascination towards all kind of mystical magic gave way to the practical application of white magic. I have built strength, perseverance, courage, and self-reliance. I have learned to understand the need to respect and work with law and boundaries, and I sometimes have an over-concern with rules. In my work life, as I became more confident, organised, efficient, and brought spiritual ideals into the workplace, I was given a managerial role and later took on a HR advisory role. Right human relations are important to me, as is the interconnectedness existing in all forms. It was this that allowed me to see past others' appearances to their heart or the heart of the matter. The exoteric rule and the moon. I was very sensitive to any slight or criticism and very reactive to whatever I was experiencing in my outer environment. This sensitivity to the prevailing conditions brought out a desire to rule and control my surroundings. Let other forms rule, I exist. When I didn't get my way, I would sulk. These were Olympian-sized sulks. My father once told me that when I was happy, everyone was happy. But when I was moody, I made everybody unhappy. Although, when I felt safe, I was adventurous and playful. Under the influence of the moon, I felt a lot of sympathy towards others and wanted to protect them. The influence of the moon in the third house was having an overriding critical voice in my head telling me that I wasn't good enough. This was my mother's voice. She was very controlling and critical when I was younger. If I ever spoke back, woe betide me, so I learned to keep stum, and this had a limiting effect on my verbal communication skills. I was better at the written word. This judgment and criticism was reinforced as I got older through my peers, and I eventually thought that everyone's first thoughts of me were ones of rejection and negativity. So it was quite a surprise to find that when somebody else was in a bad mood, it wasn't necessarily anything to do with me. So I no longer believe that it is any business of mine what other people think of me. On a higher level, the purified moon will tune me into my soul. I am that, and that am I, and give me the power to harmonize all levels of relationships. Cultivating spiritual understanding and wisdom, guided by Neptune, continues to refine my astral nature and open up the lotus of the heart so that I become more sensitive to the soul. This is a work in progress. In recent years, there has been a definite sense of moving away from self-consciousness towards group consciousness. The effect of the third house at this level is moving from a fear of rejection and negative feedback by handling it positively. I've learned to do this by always looking to myself first to see if there's any truth in whatever's being said, and if there is, to find ways to modify it, and if there isn't, I try to forgive and move on. Rays 1 and 5. As a child, I was strictly accurate and very obstinate about it, as well as being quite intolerant and impatient of those who weren't quite as accurate as me. At the time, I drove my poor mum insane, correcting it all the time. I have a lot of inner strength, perseverance and common sense which, in times of crisis or chaos, I experience as a falling back on. I am still dealing with impatience, and this is mainly focused around time. The esoteric ruler of the chart is Neptune. The sensitivity of Neptune firstly played out as an overreactiveness, where I would then become confused and go out of focus because I couldn't process it all. I would find others' strong emotions difficult to deal with, and I would end up feeling victimized and battered. I became introspective and lost in fantasies. Neptune provides the opportunity to refine those lower emotional expressions, turning emotional desire into love aspiration. It co-rules the second initiation with Jupiter and Venus. Breaking free of the old moon pattern and coming into the Neptune component heals the emotional issues of the past. Neptune rules the heart center, so whilst my sensitivity remains, there is no longer a sense of feeling sympathy, but one of compassion. With Neptune in the 6th house, I changed my lifestyle and used subtle remedies like essential oils, NLP, Reiki to support transmuting the emotions of the solar plexus and raise them to the heart center. This eventually led to learning about aromatherapy and anatomy and physiology. I'm really interested in seeing how essential oils can assist healing through or in correspondence with the astrological chart. Okay. Neptune in Sagittarius inspires a search for truth and to follow the highest ideals, so that the goal is then to spiritualize the collective unconsciousness so that true wisdom is taught and humanity can be brought directly under the influence of their souls. There is an inner need to practicalize the teachings and integrate them into daily life, which I keenly sense. The 6th house is one of service, health, work and fostering soul personality integration. I endeavour to be compassionate with those I work with and remain sensitive to them wherever they themselves are in life, and to help others where I can and inspire them to the greater good or free them from illusion. It was not always this way, and particularly in my 20s and early 30s, I would push down my unhappiness when problems at work rose, and I would ignore them. So it's no surprise that I spent most of that time going through cycles of depression. This no longer happens. I know I've had my last cycle, and I've purified those emotions to an extent that this will not reoccur. Okay. A couple of weaknesses of Ray 6 would have been overleaning on others, which I no longer identify with, and self-deception, which I hope I no longer identify with. I have loyalty, idealism, and have acquired strength, tolerance, and some measure of balance. The Ray 6 devotion is focused on the unity of humanity and world goodwill. I have never had that one-pointed devotion towards a person, guru or otherwise. Love was more romanticized, idealistic and delusional at that lower level. No one could live up to it, not even a guru. I was devoted to the ideal of love. Love is now inclusive, wide-ranging and heartfelt. The Sun. I have the Sun in Pisces, Ray 2 and Ray 6 in the 10th house. Esoteric rulers are Jupiter, Ray 2, in Scorpio, Ray 4 in the 5th house, and Neptune, Ray 6 in Sagittarius in the 6th house. The esoteric ruler is Pluto, Ray 1 in Virgo, Rays 2 and 6 in the 4th house. There is a stellar in both Pisces and Virgo. So, esoteric rulers. Jupiter and Neptune's influence on my personality was again one of hypersensitivity, with no boundaries and subject to delusion and fantasy. Now I have Saturn opposite Jupiter on the Taurus-Scorpio axis, which is expressed in the 5th and 11th houses, which helps contain this, and perhaps the higher expression shows a karmic opportunity to bring the teachings into creative expression through the group to the community. I escaped the harshness of life through whatever means I could. I had no direction and swam wherever the currents took me. During those early knocks, I learned to dislike responsibility and always wanted somebody else to take that on for me. This made me very needy, but at the same time I rejected everyone. I controlled others through being a doormat or by making people feel guilty. I don't do this anymore, but I still remain watchful that I do not bring that Ray 2 manipulation into any interactions. I knew sacrifice and wanted to save people, but it was misguided, so I was a bit of a sucker for a sob story and anyone who wanted to abuse it. I am no longer needy, nor do I get sucked into others' dramas, but I do try to dish out advice wherever needed. I have a deep need to free others from the ties that keep them clinging to the past, so I try to empower them to make changes. I leave the Father's house, and turning back I save. The influence of the 10th house was felt as a need to shine, but being too fearful to do anything about it. This created a lot of tension and confusion. I identified with what I did as a living.
Rachel, are you there? Eva, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm here, but we've lost Rachel somehow.
Yeah, she was having internet problems. Let's give her a minute to see if she can come back. Yeah.
Yeah, she's offline.
I've got her offline.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're recording this, so
Yeah, because she's covered some really good, important things on her chart that I'd like to just underscore or emphasize, and I was hoping she'd be able to hear this.
well, she'll be able to hear it because she can go back to the recording. So
Yeah.
please go ahead.
He's on. Are you there, Rachel?
Are you back?
I think I'm back.
Okay, good. Go ahead then, please.
Hang on, let me just get rid of that. Hang on. Sorry about that.
You've done very well.
Oh dear. Right, where was I? Okay, so I moved from UK to New Zealand. Pluto in this house talks of early abuse and the need to take steps to heal and free oneself. Cutting those family ties is necessary, lest it plays out in the future as being too obsessive and controlling in family affairs. I'm pleased to say that I think I've done this. I've effectively died and came through the other side with a new respect for A1 energies, especially those that liberate. A major crisis hit, and it became more painful to stay where I was than to do something about it. I had a period of reflection in which Jupiter in Scorpio showed me the futility of a wasted life spent in darkness. It's interesting, I was asked if I wanted to join a group of survivors of abuse. At the time, my soul said yes. My person, I said no. Bringing the abuse into the light and in a group format were both great fears of mine. But one of the first things I said in group, though, was that I did not consider myself to be a survivor. I've been doing that for years, and I just don't want to do that anymore. I felt that I was a warrior because I battled to go beyond the effects of the past. This would be Scorpio then, who emerges from the battle triumphant, and Jupiter in Scorpio is the way of transformation. Venus is exalted in Pisces. After Pluto has cut the thread that binds the two fishes, symbolizing the soul in captivity, it is Venus that reunites the severed lives on a higher level. Thus, the higher self joins the lower and harmony reigns. Once I developed my mind and the soul began to penetrate, transformation was rapid. I found an inclusive love that I hope to be able to use to inspire, heal and save. I'd love to serve humanity, and this is what I work towards. On a Ray 2 personality, these days I get people to do what I want by being tactful along with a balanced approach. I'm very uncomfortable if I compromise on truth, so I try not to, but I do try to deliver that truth with love. It's not always received that way. I have learnt to remain detached, and am developing the art of being impersonally personal. I have heard people in the past say that I'm nice, or that I'm too nice, or that I'm more scary when I'm nice. I simply don't believe you need to be aggressive to get others to do what is needed. One of my favourite quotes is from Roberto Assagioli, who said, "It is a calm radiation that at first remains almost unobserved and arouses no opposition, but precisely for this reason it can be penetrating, durable and effective, where more impressive, aggressive influence would fail because of the violent action it provokes." Chiron in Aries, moving from the 10th to 11th house. This could mean a refocus from selfish ambitions to that of the group or organisation, with a move towards working cooperatively within the group to build harmonious relations, to take the spiritual goals of the 10th through to the spiritual worker of the 11th. Chiron has definitely been a catalyst of change for me where groups are concerned, and will most likely continue to be so. I sense more and more that the move to becoming a spiritual worker in the new group of world servers. The nodes are in Pisces, Virgo, 10th, 4th houses, reinforces the need for balance between home and career, using the foundations built to increase spiritual responsibilities, nurture the Christ within, and bring it into conscious manifestation, which is the esoteric purpose of the Pisces-Virgo axis. This is still being played out, but I sense that one day there will be no need to balance home and career, they will be one. Interceptions have Scorpio, Taurus intercepted in the 5th and 11th house. Previously noted, I also have Saturn in Taurus in opposition to Jupiter in Scorpio. Saturn was experienced as a dampener on my fun in my early to midlife until I learned the benefits of limitations and structure. This opposition is now far more balanced for me, but I am still finding my place in the community, which is the higher spiritual purpose of the 5th and 11th house axis. The esoteric purpose of Scorpio-Taurus axis is using the wisdom of the soul to overcome desire through right thought, right action, and right relationships, all of which is a work in progress. With Saturn providing limitation and structure, I believe I have overcome a lot of my earlier desires, and what I find most fun these days is simpler and more refined. I see some joy in everything. This forces another axis to be found on two cusps. In this case, Cancer on the 1st and 2nd houses and Capricorn on the 7th and 8th houses. The higher spiritual purpose of the 1st and 7th houses is integrating the relationship between the personality and soul. Cancer-Capricorn axis is nurturing the sensitivity and intuition of the soul in preparation for initiation. Developing intuition is one of my objectives. The exoteric issue with the 2nd and 8th houses is to find a balance between what is mine and what belongs to others, working on give and take. This has been an area where I've had to work quite hard to achieve any kind of balance. This may be due to not recognizing boundaries. I was so far removed from boundaries that anyone could take anything from me. The higher spiritual purpose of this axis is to transmute the lower desires of the personality. I believe I've made some way in doing that. That's it.
I just want to just mention that the group has not yet learned about interceptions and double signs on on the axes and stuff like that. So we're going beyond the scope of these webinars in that area. So with the rest of what you want to offer, do you think it's including the areas of Sun, Moon, and Ascendant and their perspective aspects?
I'm finished.
I'm sorry to interrupt then.
That's okay.
And actually, that's going to be the next thing on our agenda for the January webinar. But it's good to get a little bit of it in there. So, okay, Eva, you have any other comments?
Yeah, you've done a super job. We can tell by your approach that astrology is more comfortable for you than for some. You seem to understand the astrology quite well. So a lot of what I'm going to say might be somewhat redundant, something that you already covered, but I want to point out the emphasis in some of the areas. You spoke very strongly of the power of both your Sun and your Ascendant. And in many ways, both of them being water, they work similarly. You know by now that having your Sun in Pisces is the ocean of water, and it's being immersed in that water. So when one is immersed in water, one thing, you can't see all that clearly sometimes. Secondly, there are no boundaries. So it's very, very hard to know where your boundaries are. And water, as we know, esoterically represents our emotions. So as you mentioned, it's hard being bombarded by everybody's emotions. What is mine and what is somebody else's? How do you differentiate when there are no boundaries and you don't know what's coming at you? It's a highly receptive and sensitive sign, so it receives all these energies, all these emotions, all these vibes, and it's very, very hard to make heads or tails out of it. So right off the bat, Pisces brings that on. And then for you, you have that up in the 10th house. So it's like visible for everybody. Everybody can see your sensitivities, your vulnerabilities. And you mentioned that the 10th house there is the house where it's out in the public. You know, this is your profession, this is where everybody sees you, and you've got your sun there. It's right next to your MC, which is your, you know, again, it's the highest point in the chart. Thank you very much, BL. And everybody gets to know what your work is to be. Now, before we go into their rulers, I just want to mention about Cancer. Cancer is your ascendant, as we can see here, right? Cancer being your ascendant, and Cancer is water. And you used wonderful words to describe being protective. You didn't use the word nurturing, but Cancer is very nurturing, and I get the impression that that's something that you do very comfortably. And it's also very sensitive. There's a highly sensitive area to Cancer, but you know, Cancer is like a crab. Well, we know it's like a crab, but what I'm trying to say about that is that the crab has this very durable, strong outer shell, but the inner, the meat of the crab, as we know, is delicious, it's juicy, it's tender, it's soft, it's wonderful, so that the outer shell is there to protect the inner sensitivity. So you've got the combination here of both Pisces sensitivity and the sensitivity coming from Cancer, which can lead to being highly intuitive and even psychic. Now, you didn't mention psychic, but you could be for all intents and purposes. You certainly have the energies there. And to add more to this energy cycle that I'm talking about here, you have a grand trine, because then you also have your Jupiter in Scorpio. And Jupiter, as we know, is expansive. It's the more of it. And it's, again, in a water sign. It's in a water sign that is highly psychic in terms of working with the psyche, working with that which is unconscious, that which is not visible. And what is it that's not visible for most of us? It's the soul. So you have the potential here with this trine of water to be very, very psychic and to be able to work with other people and their what they're going through. And also because of your life situation that you speak about, all this difficulty that you've had, you'd be highly sensitive to theirs and what they're going through. I missed the ray of your soul. I didn't write it down. Can you just tell me what that is? What you think it is? I'm sorry, one? Okay, so the second ray, as you mentioned, is your personality. And you talked about healing as well, wanting to work with flowers and such. Well, ray 2 also is healing. So I don't know if you're into working with other people in any way with their teaching or working with their soul quality, but there's certainly the potential here with this combination. So let's go now to the ascendant, which has as its first ruler is the moon. And your moon is in the 3rd house, as you mentioned, and it is in Leo, which in a way is kind of different. It's different to all this water energy that we're talking about. Leo is fire. Leo is strong, it's dynamic, it's can be quite authoritative. So you have that within you, and yet you've got to deal with all the sensitivity that is also part of you. In the 3rd house, there's a restlessness sometimes that you might experience. And you mentioned travel. I'm not surprised. Being in the 3rd house is also one of the houses of travel. I don't know if you have any siblings, but this is also the house of siblings. And I wonder how that is going for you. Because, you know, the other thing I see here is that the moon, which is in fire, is trining your Mars, which is in Aries, which is dignified because it's the ruler of Aries, is also fire. So when you get the moon and you get Mars together, that makes for quick, it makes for reaction, it makes for emotions, it can be anger. Now, you never spoke of anger, you never spoke of temper, you never spoke of being fiery that way, so I don't know if that applies to you, but that can be quite explosive. It also is a doer, someone that can get things done. It's a doer. There'd be a lot of drive to do things, to get things done. Does any of that apply to you?
Yes, it does. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And I have a brother, and that's where a lot of my the abuse came from. So and I did have that fiery anger, but I've worked through a lot of that as well.
Uh-huh. I would suggest an outlet for you, and one of the outlets, you do have some stuff in the 5th house. Could be sports, could be children, you know, could be something to tame down a lot of that fiery energy that is so different than all the watery energy. So there's almost this contradiction here. You see, you've got all that, which is related, I would say, much more to your emotions. And you have all that, which is probably related more to your personality, to your soul, to the finer parts of you, the subtler parts of you that need to, be expressed and need to come through. Now, with Mars and Saturn in the 11th house, which you spoke to, and you did speak to this a little bit, how are you in groups? I know you started by saying you're not comfortable speaking in groups.
I wasn't. No, I was very scared of in groups and of losing myself, and I got overwhelmed.
Right, and that's the Pisces. That's your Pisces personality of losing oneself. You lose yourself in water, right? You know, you can drown in water, and overwhelm. That's all of this. But this has got a bit of an aggressive quality here. You see. Maybe impatience, maybe a bit aggressive, maybe even a little bit of karma of having to deal with being in the groups and how to be. This can be patient, you see. Saturn in Taurus can be stable, can be patient, can be reliable. And I know you you said something about not wanting to take on responsibility at some point, but you know, that the potential to be very responsible is there. No?
Yeah, I can get
this
in
also leads
impatient.
to security issues. I don't know if you have any security issues with money.
Not anymore.
Okay, I've lost somebody here. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, so you're here. Eva, did we lose you?
Just on the other side, so it came out in the 11th house, so I was going to say that there's to be adjustments there and corrections, but it doesn't matter. It can swing in either direction. So adjustments and corrections have to be made also in the public eye and with you and how you present yourself to the public. So it doesn't matter which way you look at it. This is public and this is public. Both of them are out there. Corrections, adjustments, those kinds of things. Kind of spoke to the difference in the energies about the fire and the water, but you know that fire and water can produce steam. So either these two can bring about very creative endeavors, or this can evaporate into thin air. So I don't know how you work with those two sets of energies, but they're quite different. The other thing to note here, as you pointed out, is Jupiter is in Scorpio, and it's in the 5th house, which is the house of the solar angel. It is the house of the soul, and it is the ability to go deep into the occult, deep into where soul. Well, the soul isn't all that far from us, in all honesty, but you have the ability to do the research that you need to find the true self of who you are. Jupiter is expansive. It's going to allow you to do all of that, and Scorpio is so much into wanting to know the psyche. So you have that in the house, in that house where the soul resides, which is excellent. It's excellent outlet here for you. It's the house. This could be very mystical, very occult, very metaphysical, and very intense. There could be an intensity about the field of occultism for you, and uncompromising in your belief and the changes that you have made within yourself, which may be due to soul. So we have this, and then this is opposite the Saturn, which you spoke to already. So we have a difference in the energies here, right? One is expansive, Jupiter. One is consolidating, limiting, keeping things in restraint. So, and it's opposite, which is a balancing act. Sometimes one side can be stronger, sometimes the other side could be strong. It all depends on how the energy is being used. You can have a happy medium, and if you do, you can move mountains, literally move mountains with the strength that these two signs will give you. And then we have not only these two in opposition, we have them squaring your Mercury right there. And am I seeing that right? It is Mercury, isn't it? It's in the 9th house. So Mercury, as we know, is your mind, and your mind is in an air sign, and it's a very very active mind. It's in the 8th house, which is normally the house of Scorpio, and it is being squared by Scorpio. So can you see how much attention and reflective quality comes into understanding the whole metaphysical or occult sciences? Does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, but you see how there's a challenge there, but at the same time there's the capacity to be able to work through that. And that is also right here, squared your Saturn, which would give you a very structured mind, a mind that works very well. It's a disciplined mind. It's a structured mind. Yeah, I can say that for you. So there's quite a lot of mind emphasis here if we want to look at it that way. There's so many different ways to look at things, but we can see that there's a very strong and potential here for you to use your mind in a very active way to bring about soul changes within yourself and within humanity, because Cancer is the sign of humanity. It's the whole is seen as one. And the potential for a Buddhic line here is very, very strong. The 246 line, and yet you say you have a first ray soul. So that would bring in a lot of this fieriness here. That would indicate maybe the first ray for you in there. I think I've just about covered everything. Maybe though there's one more thing here. Sorry. I've got Mars trining your Uranus, I believe. No, not Mars. I'm sorry. You see, I can't see that too well. It's Mercury. Sorry. Mercury here, trining your Uranus. We know that Mercury is the mind, and Uranus, they say, is the higher octave of the mind. And again, Uranus is in Jupiter. I'm sorry, I can't even talk right. It's in Libra, which is the esoteric ruler of Libra. So again, it's in a very dignified position. So again, we see the keen mind that you have here, the ability to work with the higher mind and to work with your mind really well. Because it's a trine. A trine is an ease. The only thing that is Pluto. Pluto, as the sole ruler of Pisces, really is almost unaspected. I mean, we could find slight aspects, but it's unaspected. So it stands by itself. And there's nothing there to either encourage it or nothing there to deter it. I would say that it would be most active during the time when there's a transit, then to really watch what Pluto does for you. But sometimes when something is unaspected, it can run amok, or it can do its thing unimpeded. Again, I don't know how that works out for you. So basically, that's all I have to say. How about you, BL?
Well, I just wanted to follow up with what you said about Mercury and Uranus being the higher octave. The way I always learned it was Mercury was the knower, Uranus was the intuitor.
Hmm.
Now, the other thing I would like to point out is the little round robin that we've got going on with her planets and her rulers. Her Cancer ascendant is ruled exoterically by her moon in Leo, which is ruled exoterically by her sun in Pisces. So they're all connected together. Should they decide to work together, they have a common purpose there that links them. And we can see exoterically, the sun is ruled by Neptune. Esoterically, the ascendant is ruled by Neptune. And Leo, again here, the sun esoterically is ruled by Neptune, the heart of the sun. So basically, Neptune is extremely important to you. You've talked some about the various different connections that you have here. But it's very interesting that they do connect in so many different ways. We saw that they already connected here through the grand water trine with your ascendant to your sun and Venus conjunction here, and then down to Jupiter. And now we're seeing also how strong that relationship is with Neptune. So that's all I would like to say. Do you have any other questions, Rachel, before we move to the next one?
No, not really. Thank you, Eva. Thank you, BL.
Okay, Heather, are you ready? Heather, we can't hear you.
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, you're real low.
Oh, can you hear me?
A little better, yeah.
Okay, I'll just try to talk loud. Yeah. Okay, are you able to hear me and ready for me?
Yes, we're ready for you. We're not, just continue to talk loud.
Okay. My hypothesized ray chart is Soul Ray 2, Personality Ray 4, Mental Ray 4, Astral Ray 6, Physical Ray 7. I have a strong northern hemisphere containing 9 planets, creating an environment of introverted tendencies, recharging self through alone time. This description fits me very well. I tend to feel drained after social events and must spend time recovering and grounding alone. The Western Hemisphere with 8 planets, described as an environment of group-initiated activities and affiliation rather than self-initiated activities. I do not feel that this description fits me well. Although I can be inspired by others in a group setting, I prefer self-directed activity. The lack of congruency here is due to planet placement being fairly balanced with just a slight western edge. The Sun and personal planets Mercury, Venus, and Mars are positioned in the west along with all of the transformational planets, which are Pluto, Uranus, and Neptune. The strong first quadrant with 5 planets seems to counterbalance the slight edge for the Western Hemisphere. This quadrant is described as an environment fostering self-development and self-concern, with introverted, self-initiated activity. This description fits my personality tendencies well. Since early childhood, I have been interested in self-development and have always been introverted, generally having one close friend or spending time alone. My favorite game as a child was discussing and creating past life experiences with my best friend. Otherwise, I would be found reading books or at solitary play, all self-initiated introverted activities which foster self-development. My personality hasn't changed much in this area, though I am now working to turn my focus outwards. Cancer ascendant. Exoterically ruled by the moon and esoterically ruled by Neptune, the ascendant is at 24 degrees Cancer and is conjunct the moon. Negative Cancer traits: moodiness, being too clingy, over-emotionalism, suspicion, tendency to nag. I find myself becoming moody when tired, overwhelmed, or emotionally drained. I think that I may nag my daughter at times, but I'm more likely to avoid conflict than invite it. These patterns used to have a hold on me much of the time, but now I see myself falling into the pattern and avoid it about 90% of the time. Over-emotionalism, clinginess, and suspicion rarely arise. The exoteric key phrase for an ascendant in Cancer, "Let isolation be the rule and yet the crowd exists," does still reflect my attitude toward most people most of the time. I identify with the esoteric keynote of Cancer, "I build a lighted house and therein dwell." This keynote reflects my inward consciousness and attitude, and I am able to practice this, especially if I feel rested. I find that I reflect this keynote better in some situations than others, particularly where I feel that I and my family are secure, such as my work and interaction with our Rosicrucian group, or in spiritual discussion online or with individuals or small groups. When my energy is high and I maintain a positive polarity, I express this esoteric keynote well. When my energy is low or I feel my family threatened, I tend to revert back to the exoteric keynote. This is an area where I am diligently working. The first house rules the self, personality, and physical body. Its environment fosters soul expression, control of the personality. I see that the exoteric and esoteric attributes of Cancer heavily influence my personality. I rely on my intuitive reactions, which show themselves often as emotional or physical warnings, and these are reflected in my personality. I have been told by people that it seems as if I'm looking into their soul when I make eye contact with them, something which I now try to be conscious and considerate of. I am very sensitive to people's reactions when I meet them, and I have to be careful to not soak up the energy and moods of those around me. I try to not allow my intuitive impressions to color my personality, but they generally come through anyway. People tend to think that I am very young because of my round face and seemingly shy exterior. I tend to put up a protective shell around those who I am not very comfortable with. I have grown accustomed to using my youthful appearance as a protective mechanism, which allows me to almost become invisible. I am consciously working to replace this shell with a warm and friendly demeanor by using my compassionate nature to dominate my self-protective tendencies. Jupiter is also positioned in my first house at 1 degree Leo. This situation allows me to expand towards self-individuation by developing an extroverted attitude. Neptune is found at 20 degrees Sagittarius in the 5th house, which rules creativity, pleasure, children, and an environment fostering soul's creativity and developing spiritual will. Neptune is associated with illusion, visionary and dissolving qualities, compassion and unity, unconditional love, mysticism, and self-sacrifice, and is associated with Ray 6, idealism and devotion. Neptune's placement in Sagittarius shows these qualities working as a one-pointed arrow of the mind and reorienting these qualities to a higher spiritual goal. All of the major lessons in my life have involved close family or partner relationships and have, of course, been closely related to soul development and self-sacrifice. A couple of examples are being abandoned by my family at age 5 at a time when I felt responsible for the care of my infant brother, becoming pregnant at a very young age and being forced to give the child up for adoption when he was about 2 months old. This pattern of devotion and sacrifice has appeared repeatedly throughout my life. I think that I express the positive Cancer keynotes well, which are imagination, intuition, loving compassion, and protectiveness. These positive keynotes have always been a natural part of my character. For instance, as a child, I always had a high degree of compassion for others and would never tease other children. As an adult, if I find myself having a self-protective reaction, I am quick to use compassion to check my reaction and return to a state of balance, or at least empathize with the person or situation with which I'm being confronted. The Sun. The Sun is at 20 degrees Aquarius in the 8th house and is conjunct Mercury. The 8th house rules endings, regeneration, and an environment where physical desires are transmuted into spiritual purpose. The Aquarius exoteric keynote is "Let desire and form be the ruler." The esoteric keynote is "Water of life am I, poured forth for thirsty men." I recognize the influence of Sun in Aquarius during my spiritual progression in this life. My sense of security is tied in closely with my sense of personal freedom. Of primary importance to me has been having the freedom to pursue spiritual development and create or discover environments conducive to that development. My interest in the esoteric began as an escape from the world, and as I grew, it progressed into a system for self-development and has moved into a realization of my responsibility and desire to serve others in their spiritual progression, particularly strengthening others' reliance on the indwelling soul. As I align with my soul purpose and my true identity emerges, I also realize with more clarity that I am unified with the whole and am better able to serve that whole. The exoteric ruler is Uranus at 20 degrees Scorpio and forms a square to the Sun, actually a T-square, 3 of the 4 points of a fixed cross, by squaring the Sun-Earth axis. This is especially interesting as Uranus in Scorpio is in the 5th, or Leo house, while Sun is in Aquarius in the 8th, or Scorpio house. So it's a form of mutual reception between them, a willingness to walk a mile in the other's shoes, so to speak. The square is otherwise a hard aspect, a challenge with many unexpected tests and trials before the 3 planets learn to work together effectively. Jupiter is found in Leo in the 1st house, and Neptune is found at 20 degrees Sagittarius in the 5th house and is sextile the Sun, also sextile Mercury and Pluto. Jupiter, the esoteric ruler of Aquarius, is opposite the Sun by sign, technically not in aspect by degree, but it is by association between Leo and Aquarius, and the Sun is the exoteric and esoteric ruler of Leo, Jupiter's sign, so this reinforces the relationship they have. Neptune, esoterically seen as the heart of the Sun, is sextile the Sun, a favorable aspect, an opportunity to work well together. Neptune is a Ray 6 planet and a Ray 6 sign. Sagittarius is also Ray 4 and Ray 5, so Ray 5 relates it a second way with Aquarius, Ray 5. The Moon is found conjunct my Ascendant at 27 degrees Cancer in the 1st house. This placement reinforces the opportunity and need to make the shift from Cancer-dominated emotional patterns to a Cancer-influenced soul. A pattern I have noticed which in relation to Cancer Moon is that of experiencing from my earliest memories a feeling of resentment toward being in the world and feeling at home only in an environment of my own making or isolated from others. My natural tendency has to put up a protective barrier, but I have come to realize that this form of defense pushes others away and increases a sense of separateness from others, which negatively affects my identification with the human soul and in turn my own soul. Recently, my practice has been to maintain, through my attitude and polarity, a personal space which feels both secure and free so that I feel at home around other people and in situations where I lack control. This new personal environment is one which invites others to feel secure, free, and open, and contributes to unity and equanimity between myself and others, as well as my personality and soul. I have certainly not mastered this, but it is at the forefront of my consciousness. The Cancer exoteric keynote is let isolation be the rule, and yet the crowd exists. The Moon is in my 1st house, but traditionally rules the 4th house with Libra on the cusp, so this reinforces the mood swings and needing harmony. Pluto is in the 4th house and brings up painful issues to be dealt with, in this case in the home environment. I see this shift working out in my life and making a major transition within the past 4 years or so. Most of my life, I was independent and emotionally detached, with the exception of events directly related to my mother, children, and partners. Even then, because of my tendency to escape from my emotions, I managed to maintain distance for the most part, but would periodically fall into deep depression. Up until about a year ago, I went through a period which was very emotionally centered and where I questioned my intuition often. I cried almost daily for 3 years and was overly attached in a difficult personal relationship. I feel that this situation exhausted me emotionally and allowed me to learn detachment on a much deeper level. I became so tired of being in an emotional and mental turmoil that I learned to surrender to the soul and find the point of peace and balance within. Not that I am there all the time, but that place is accessible now because I learned to not identify with emotion and mental chaos. This move away from identification with the thoughts and emotions and desire to find refuge in the soul has created an outward environment which is primarily ordered and peaceful. As I move toward greater soul influence, I am seeing what a benefit my intuitive abilities are, and when not ruled by emotion, are a very useful tool. I find that I can turn my self-protective sensitivity into an empathetic sensitivity toward others. Instead of holding on to my past experiences and allowing them to rule my personality currently through fear, I can use my experiences to better understand the experiences of others. I'm finished.
Very well done, Heather. Really, you know your astrology very well. Now, I know that this is not a Ray class, but listening to your story about yourself and hearing the Ray hypothesis you offer, if I heard you correctly, you said you have a fourth Ray personality and a fourth Ray mental. Is that right?
I believe so.
Okay. Everything that you said really does not speak to a fourth Ray personality. Fourth Ray personalities are dramatic. They're out there. They can't help but attract conflict in their lives. There's always crises. So it's harmony through crises. And they're not introverted. You spoke of being introverted, maybe even timid. That is not really a fourth Ray personality. Fourth Ray personalities are colorful. People can't help but notice them. They're just out there. That's one thing I want to offer. And secondly, hardly ever, the Tibetan tells us that hardly ever do we find a personality and a mental vehicle the same Ray. That would make someone extremely that way, if you know what I mean. So I would invite you to reconsider whether it's a fourth Ray personality that you do have. I don't know you well enough. I haven't seen your writing. I can't offer any thoughts on that. But I'll be very happy to engage in any kind of discussion at another time about that. So that's one thing. So let's go to look at the sensitivities that you did talk about. And like Rachel, you also have Cancer rising. And like you said, the moon is right there, right next to the Cancer rising. So Soul deliberately chose for you to have rising Cancer and the moon in Cancer. And when we find that we have more than one luminary in a sign, we have to work doubly hard to try to differentiate between what is the moon in Cancer like, what is the ascendant in Cancer going to be like, and how do I tell which is energies that are more soul-related versus which are energies that are more instinctual, habitual, and so on. So I would really invite you as a person to kind of see if you can get a handle on what the sensitivity, the nuances of the two are, because it's a highly intuitive sign that you have here. Highly intuitive, which you spoke to the sensitivity and the intuition. And I haven't looked to see why you are so drained, but there's something in the chart that would indicate that. Where's Neptune for you? Neptune usually brings about quality of draining. How does that relate to?
It's in Sag.
Yeah, it's in Sag. That's just not enough. I have to look at that a little closer. At any rate, there's definitely, another thing I want to point out, the moon also represents, besides our emotions and the past and all that, it represents our body, our form. And the moon oftentimes, in Cancer for sure, will give us a round face, right? Because the moon is, usually pictures of the moon can be round like a full moon, and it represents the body, the form, and you have Jupiter there. So I don't know if Jupiter in any way influences your physical form, but many times people who have Jupiter in Cancer, and yours is not in Cancer, but it's only 1 degree off, tend to like to nurture, like to feed people, and they like to feed themselves. There's a lot of security in feeding oneself. Sometimes with Jupiter in the first house, there's a tendency to overweight. There's a tendency to, to nurture oneself. Does that apply to you?
Yeah, it does. The interesting thing about the Leo Jupiter and then the Cancer moon is that I have a round face, and then I have curly red hair. So I almost, have that lion and crab kind of merged together, so that's interesting.
Uh-huh. It's interesting. I also have Cancer rising, and I have curly hair, and I have a round face. So that's interesting. Well, I used to have a round face when I was younger. Anyway, it's just interesting that you have the red as well. All right, so let's move on now. From the moon, we go to the esoteric ruler, which is Neptune. So Neptune finds itself in Sagittarius, and it finds itself in the 5th house, the house of the soul, the house of one's true identity. So that combination, and I believe we have the same combination with Rachel as well. It is of openness, there's frankness, there's idealism here. There is, and also being in the 5th house and being that this is the home of the soul, the causal body, there's a whole leaning towards metaphysics or occultism or the deeper meaning of life. All that can come through here. It can also be a teacher. I don't know if you do any teaching, but this combination can lead to also wanting to teach with high idealism. Then the other interesting combination of energies that you have here that you spoke to so well is the Aquarian energies. That's up in the combination of the 7th house and the 8th house. So again, we see the emphasis here on metaphysics or occultism with the 8th house, the house that normally is ruled by Scorpio. And interesting that you do have Scorpio in that 5th house as well, you know, and it's what leads that 5th house. It's right on the cusp. So there's that interesting combination of, again, the depth, the research, the system that you created. You use the word system, which is very 5th ray, and it's very Aquarian as well. So Mercury is there, and there's the keenness to the mind. There is in Scorpio, I'm sorry, in Aquarius, there's this originality or independent thinking. It could be very studious. I just lost my train of thought here. Yeah, even character study. And you could be somewhat self-taught. I don't know. All of this would fit in there. I don't know how you are with writing or speaking, but it shows that there could be an ease for you with all of that. And the way you wrote up your work was very eloquent, was very well written. Now, the Sun is right next to Mercury. It's like not even a 1 degree apart. So what do they tell us? They tell us that Mercury and the Sun are one, which is great, right? It's one of the closest planets besides Vulcan. It's close to the Sun. So by offering us that, it could mean a very intuitive mind, a mind that is very well lit by the Sun, by the energy of the Sun. It can, however, give us such a closeness that there isn't objectivity. And sometimes we need to step away and have that objectivity. But when Mercury is that close to the Sun, sometimes we lack that. We become very narrow in our approach. So you have to kind of be careful to avoid that pitfall. Now, Uranus in Scorpio is exalted. So that's a good placement for Uranus. And the combination of that with, because it squares your Sun, it squares that whole stellium up there. It could be self-will, it can be contradictory, it can be, again, like I said to Rachel, Uranus can be considered the higher octave of Mercury. It could be a very keen mind, a mind that can really work towards those heights. And I like what BL said, one being knowledge, the other one being intuition. And that really, really works well with that combination. It is a square, so that means there's a challenge there. There's certainly an opportunity to develop that within yourself. You did speak to something you said about relationships. I don't quite remember exactly what you said, but you have Mars You have Mars in that house of relationships or partners in the 7th house. Mars in that house can be quite controversial. The need to prove oneself. There's a strength there. There's a strong personality, and it can even be combative. So I don't know if you get into arguments with another. You can invite sometimes verbal attacks and controversy, and you probably don't want that. But you, with all that sensitivity of Cancer, that's a hard thing to sometimes have to deal with. It says in our books, when we study, that could also be a sign of marrying early. Or anyway, that kind of thing. Is public opinion important to you? That's another thing that we look at when we see that there. Don't forget, that house is ruled by Capricorn, and Capricorn's ruler is Saturn. Your Saturn is in the 2nd house in Virgo. So there's a lot of things to work out here. It's opposite your South Node, so it's some stuff that you've carried from the past. There's some karma here that probably needs to be worked through so that you can move to the North Node, which is right beside, would be right beside Saturn, because it's directly opposite the South Node. It's not shown. Oh yes, it is shown in this chart. There it is. So in order to work to the North Node, which is also in Virgo, some adjustment, some kind of karma, something has to be done. The only other thing to mention here is that your Chiron is way up. It's the highest point in the chart. It's in Taurus. And Taurus can be somewhat indulgent. There's a desire nature associated with Taurus, and it's trying, you see, with Saturn. So that brings in, again, the whole, the Earth, the Earth. So not only is that trine, you've got a grand trine, because it goes over now to Venus. Venus is the ruler of Taurus. It's also in an Earth sign, although Venus in Capricorn is exalted, so you have 2 exalted planets, which is a very good thing, by the way. You should be able to work with these energies with a relative ease. So you've got this trine in Earth, but yet there's an adjustment that needs to be made with that trine, with the earthy stuff, with the, is it things? I don't know. Is it the matters of the earth? Is it the physical plane? All these things, we don't know. Is it the desire nature? But whatever it is, there's some kind of an adjustment or a change of some sort that needs to, correction that needs to be made there. But all in all, I think you covered everything exceptionally well. I hope this has helped in some way. I just didn't add very much to what you said. I'm done.
This has been very helpful. Thank you.
And I would like to add that with the trines, one of the ways I've always learned them is that they're a benefit, but that they come too easy to us, and so we can take them for granted and not really use them. That it's the squares and the challenges and the crises that we have that make us fall back on and actually use those benefits that we have here that Eva was pointing out with this Earth, the grand Earth trine. And, both of you guys have covered everything. There isn't much more I can say. I would just like to add, though, that the moon and the ascendant conjunct here you can look at it a variety of ways, as we can look at anything a variety of ways. But one of the ways that we can look at it is that your past patterns can be they can be your own worst enemy that can block the expression of the soul. So it's overcoming them that allows the working towards the higher prison of your soul, the higher past patterns that then allows the emergence of the soul. And I personally think one of the ways that that happens is through the intermediary between, the past, the present of the personality, and the future of the soul. So the sun in Aquarius, a sign of service, Venus representing the solar angel in your 6th house, a sign of service, that those help you point to the way of bringing out the soul expression, as do, the square here that we had. And you talked about the mutual reception of the sun in the 8th house, which is normally the Scorpio house, and the sun in Aquarius, which is Uranus's house. So that square has an affinity in it, even though it's a hard aspect. So there, that's all I would like to say.
You girls have done very well so far, really well.
Yes, you all did. Everybody here knows they've already done their thing, so we put in a lot of work. You guys put in a lot of work prior to. Okay, Tiffany, are you ready? Whoops, I keep clicking on the wrong computer.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. I am not as adept in astrology, and I interestingly enough, through the years that I've been involved in esoteric studies, for some reason I have to admit that I ran from it. It was just something I just didn't want to study. It was almost like the way I kind of dealt with meditation. I almost felt like I was just being a defiant teenager, knowing it was something that I needed to do and that it was best for me to do, including meditation. I started in my early 20s finding the Master DK, and at that time I had a child and I owned my own home and I was a college student, and I've kind of known in my life when I was deciding to be defiant about certain things, and astrology and meditation, I have to say, were one of the things that I was overtly being defiant about. But I'll give it a shot. You guys sounded great, and thanks so much for all of the insight, because it is really helpful for me. Though I've read my birth chart for a lot of years just to find out what I needed to correct, and that was all I did. I jumped in what I need to correct, and I got out of there. But I hypothesize my soul ray as a ray 6, my personality ray as a ray 1, mental ray as a ray 4, and my astral ray I think is a 6. If not, then it would be a 2. My physical ray is a 7. I have a lot of sun involved in my charts. My ascendant is in Leo. So the Leo esoteric keynote I have is I am that and that I am. My positive personality expressions are I am a very proud woman. I do feel secure with myself and my purpose in life at times. I do have a dramatic expression and flair with a lot of enthusiasm and sense of humor. Sometimes I actually laugh at myself, even when I'm looking at myself objectively and listening to what I'm saying. I think even the inner me kind of chuckles at me, because sometimes I think, well, where'd that thought come from? And I'll chuckle, and something inside of me else, we chuckle together kind of a thing. Very creative. I think that's my ray 4. Artistic in writing, which that just kind of culminated. I didn't start off writing. I mean, I was a teenager and had a diary, but I never thought it was much of anything. Always been into culture and, different nationalities. Was raised around Hispanics, and we were actually the only, I'm African American, we were the only black people on the corner, and we didn't even realize that we were different because, actually it was Puerto Rican, and they just embraced us so well. We didn't grow up around racism. We had no idea that it was just like this big deal. but been into writing, into design, a lot of color expression, dress and fashion, beauty and luxury. My early years were plagued with the desire for attention or desire for wealth. When in my younger years, quite honestly, I wanted to be wealthy. I wanted to be a model, or I wanted to be a fashion designer, or I wanted to be a Barbie. Either one of those I would have taken. Socializing is easy for me. It's always been something very fluent. My communication is articulated, and it draws in a lot of people, whether it's my intention or not. At a young age, I remember in high school or even elementary school, having people around me, that was just the way that it was, whether it be through inspiration, motivation, or fear and intimidation. And I'm about how we say it in the streets, I'm about $103, which is about 103 pounds, and just have this kind of this aura or presence that sometimes I don't want, because I don't want people to have that kind of intimidation towards me, because I feel like I just want to hug them. So I can use my words for good or for bad. I just had, and my mother, we grew up in a family of very emotionally detached and withdrawn individuals. My mother was emotionally negligent, worked all day. I didn't even realize that I didn't realize that she wasn't really even around. She worked. She liked luxury, and so she would spend most of her time working and shopping, and we would be home. I didn't realize we were taking the bus at 7, 8 years old, and my father was absent, just gone. They divorced when I was about 2, and he moved to North Carolina. We lived in New Jersey, so he was just absent completely. I had very bourgeoisie grandparents, and they were just aloof completely. So I had an altercation with my mother, and she says to my son, and I only said a couple of words to her. She says, and your mother's words can cut through to the soul, so I can actually use my words for good or bad. I surround myself with very few people, whether from lack of trust or a need to just keep my loved ones at a close proximity to myself. Smaller circles just make me feel more comfortable and more secure. Though I'm comfortable in crowds. I have no problems with crowds being around. I don't go to concerts. I always thought it was because of my size, just being a very small, thin-framed individual. I kind of find it, if a fight pops out, then I'm probably going to be the first one to die. I feel like I'm a very charismatic leader. I just realized that I was a leader. I didn't know that. I inspire. I do dare people to dream. I do push and motivate individuals to live passionately about their own dreams and their own lives, and take their lives much more seriously than they actually a lot of times do. I'm very compassionate, especially to those dealing in social plight or any kind of personal chaos. I'm kind of right there. When I learned in my earlier life I possessed leadership skills, well, I just recently realized through a public administration class that I'm dealing with that I would like to go towards leadership. But I kind of felt like people followed me in my younger years, but I kind of didn't put the two together. When I learned from a birth chart years ago that I could be a potential leader, it said that I could be a tyrant, and that really resonated within me. I really realized that I didn't want to be that way, and I realized that that's the way that I could. Sure, sweetie, go ahead, honey. I realized I didn't want to be a tyrant, so I took it upon myself to learn and to study constantly the art of diplomacy. That's what actually the chart suggested, was for me to study the art of diplomacy, which I still at this time attempt to cultivate and refine regularly. The vices are countered by my focus on, I try to learn and cultivate at this point in my life kindness and compassion for others, which is really not difficult for me to do. I mean, I can look at a person and with my empathetic nature can kind of go deep right in and realize what it is that they're kind of struggling with in their life. Big-hearted, very optimistic. Truthfulness is just my nature, to the point of being blunt or at times being rude. And once I realized that, I kind of realized that that's not what I wanted to do or be. Loyalty comes natural for me. As a Leo, I do have a mane. My hair can, grow kind of out there, and so I do resonate very strongly with the Leo zodiac sign. Places focus on, my strong traits are dealing with negativity, is dealing with feelings of persecution and victimization. I do think I also not only have that in my nature, but I also picked up those skills from my mother and my grandmother. It's just blame. You just, if I'm struggling because of you. I'm without a partner because of you. So I attempt to avoid dealing with my issues through using escapist patterns. In my past, I was a marijuana smoker, or, would drink in the party scene. I would call it social drinking, but I don't know if that was considered alcoholic. I probably was, and winded up in rehab, whether I wanted to go or not, for marijuana. Everybody in there laughed at me and thought, "Get out of here! It's not even a drug." And I thought, no, I have problems. I got to get in here. Those are no longer issues of mine, though. Learning to direct my energies into a positive outlet, like through my newfound love of meditation. I was completely resistant to it years ago. Even at the Master DK's teachings, when I found that in my 20s, that was one of the first things I noticed that he would always emphasize. No, sweetie. No, guys. No. This is not a vulnerable time. Sorry. Trying to get Pop-Tarts at 8:30. Not happening. Love of meditation, absolutely, and connecting with others through the esoteric groups. I love working with other individuals on the inner plane with that. I feel very strongly and deeply about that. Very intuitive, prone to supernatural experiences and visions, and have experienced many light and dark experiences, especially in my early 20s. Just lots of experiences. Merges self-centered ego through the application of my personal will and discipline through my Ray 1 attributes. Very strong. When I learned of the Rays, I'm more of a Ray adept. That's more of my interest, is learning about the Rays. I love Leonie. She's my favorite. Okay, sweetie, 1 second. Ray 1 attributes, positive to cultivate, is strength, courage, steadfastness, truthfulness, rising through absolute fearlessness, power of ruling, capacity to grasp greater questions in a large-minded way, power to govern, power to direct and lead, strong sense of purpose, and power to initiate, dynamic power, moving with greater power and activity. Fearlessness comes easy for me. I've been a single mother since I was 19 years old, owned a home by the time I was 20. Hold on 1 second, please. Sorry. Yes, I've been a single mother since I was 19, so always had to be more masculine, and had to be a mother and father, even though his father was around, but in the household itself, I always felt like I had to be the protector. If somebody came around the house, I would need to protect my son, so it kind of hardened me. I'm also from Trenton, New Jersey, which is a very difficult city to grow up in. It's almost rated like Camden, which is one of the worst cities in the country. So fearlessness is almost a prerequisite for the lifestyle that I led. Even though I moved my son to the suburbs, I still had remnants of the streets inside of me to make sure I was able to protect my son. Dynamic power, moving with great power and activity, power to set all things in motion, carry the motion forward dynamically, or sustain others in carrying the motion forward. Strength of will, keen understanding of principles and priorities, wisdom to establish and uphold law. The negatives of Ray 1 attributes, pride. I struggle with pride, as all Leos would. I actually had to look up the definition of pride in order to find out which behaviors I was actually doing to show the negative aspects of pride, because I thought pride was proud. And, you know, you kind of think, yes, I'm proud of myself, I'm proud of my son, and I suppose that that wasn't the same way that that would be directed. Ambition, typically as in Leo, I would think ambition was a great thing. That's what all people would seek to be, would be ambitious. It would be better than being lazy. But I realized that ambition was to catapult over others and stepping on them without regard or concern for their total well-being, which I don't have that now. I just have intentions. But I do remember that, as I said, in my younger years, I aspired for wealth. Hardness and cruelty, absolutely. Only when necessary. You know, but some of the threats could have been real or perceived. Willfulness, desire to control others. I never really thought that that was the way that I was being. I just expected you to do what I said, I guess. Or if you didn't, I don't want to deal with you. I don't know. Anger. I grew up with a stepfather when my mother married someone in 3 months, and he hated us. I mean, there's no other word to use other than that. I'd like to use some sort of softer word, but there's no other word. And for years, it was just hatred. And he was a military drill sergeant for the U.S. Army. So he was very rough, very harsh, and very critical. And he would embarrass you lots of times in front of his friends. And if I wasn't hard and if I wasn't cruel, then I would have been demolished. So, I kind of took hardness to a completely different level when we moved. We lived in the suburbs and in this very small town, and my parents did kind of well for themselves, but we would hang out in the hood. We would hang out in the hood areas. That's where the fun was, and the people in the hood thought that I was, me and my sister were some of the meanest people there, and we were actually the lovingest people, but because we had a shield up, we had to be hard, and they thought we were actually the meanest, and we lived in the suburbs, and they didn't, so that was interesting. Separation and isolation. Typically, if I feel, my pride has been hurt, then I could see where that would come about. And isolation, I just naturally feel like I'm a private individual. Negative attributes, again, of Ray 1 are power hungry and domination. My sun veiling Neptune in Sagittarius, the Sag keynote is I see the goal, I reach the goal, and then I see another. I have an unrelenting spirit. Once I start a goal, complete a goal, I move on. I'm already looking for the next things to accomplish. Just will not give myself a pat on the back, will not take a deep breath, and I just am unrelenting. Sagittarius offers the opportunity for me to orient myself to some lofty objectives, which I do have. I've always had lofty objectives. Usually one which will unfold a still higher goal and grant a conscious direction in life. Free and optimistic, independent. I desire to travel, especially internationally. Haven't been able to do that. I've been focusing my life on parenting and single parenting at that. I see distant places, to see distant places. Love of truth and higher principles. Simultaneously, I started studying in higher academia when I was 19 and I had my son, and I've been in school ever since. I've probably taken a 4-year hiatus. I have 2 bachelor's degrees and studying master's degree right in my master's program now, expecting to get my PhD while simultaneously studying on my own esoteric teachings, just all the way through. The entire time once I started that, I started academia and just haven't stopped since. It's a sign of intuition, developed intellect, usually finally becomes illuminated, then becomes sensitive to a higher type of intuitive perception. The disciple, I have a reading here, it says the disciple started identifying himself with the soul. Yeah, I kind of feel like sometimes I laugh, and I feel like me and my soul are my best friends. So isolation for me is not naturally isolation, it's just me and my soul kind of chopping it up and hanging out. Is a disciple sign and the final goal of our work on earth. I have very little friends, and I truly do feel that my soul is my best friend. It gives a chance for me, and isolation kind of gives me a chance to sit and have convo with self. I feel as though for my personality, I'd love to submit to my soul. With little, hindrance, if I find a hindrance to my personality that wants to stop my soul from driving, I look at that, I work on that. Those are my main focus, to get out of my way in order for my soul to be the driver. Very close relationship. Positive Ray 6 traits to cultivate. Ray 6 soul, I hypothesize, is a transcendent idealism, power of abstraction, intense devotion, and self-sacrificial idol. I have an unshakable faith, traits to cultivate, and undimmed optimism. One-pointedness, single-mindedness, utter loyalty and adherence, earnestness and sincerity, profound humility, ability to achieve ecstasy and rapture, purity and goodness and sainthood. My sun is in Leo in the 12th house. Exoteric keynote is let other forms exist. I rule because I am. Traits I still feel that I'm working on are too headstrong. It's very difficult to force me to do what it is that you may want me to do. 1 second, please. Okay. Egotistical, arrogant. I had to look that up as well years ago. I didn't know which actions I was actually doing that expressed arrogance. Then I realized it was a greater than, less than mentality. Still working on that. I don't think it's something that I'm doing intentionally. I think it's something that I find myself struggling with through insecurities, maybe, or self-esteem issues. But the more obstacles, I've had many obstacles in my life, the more obstacles that I struggle through brings me to humility. So now it's an equal playing field. There is no one greater than nor less than. So I don't have to attach to that mentality to make myself feel better because I feel worse. Dominating, studying detachment more through the Moria Federation, learning the art of detachment. I have no need to dominate anyone. It's just not a part of my agenda. Impatience, absolutely. Learning to work with that, and I feel really good about that, I can say. I've just learned to just sit back and let a lot of things go. I think working through with the meditation and the prayer. When I first started the Moria, I thought, oh wow, now I'm gonna meditate, and so I was kind of resistant in the beginning, and then I realized that's only hurting you. It's not hurting anybody else. There's nobody looking over your shoulder. There's nobody gonna, nobody's gonna get you if you're not meditating. It's you yourself who needs to do that. So then I started to realize it started to balance my temper. I started to balance my mood, and it was almost like a pill for a medication, you know, like medication for some kind of PTSD, or, you know, it worked as the same way. Just if I didn't do it, I felt my temper was raised, and if I would allow, I could be off of it. If I didn't meditate for 2 days, I was going to go into that danger zone again, where I was impatient or frustrated or easily angered. So I realized the need that I had for meditation, for that calming, and it gets me throughout my day. Who would have known, which is probably why they're suggesting it for so many years, and I was resisting it, and I saw no change. And then when I started to do the meditation, that was when I started to actually see, you know, tangible changes in my life. So that's my newfound love. It calms my energy in my vehicles. Exoterically, Leo is comfortable in front of an audience. My career goals are world leadership and dealing with various international leaders in order to deal with humanitarian issues. Not on a smaller scale. I mean, I can do nonprofit. If they put me in the background, I'd go in the background, but for the most part, I don't have a problem with working in front of an audience. And I think it kind of came to me, world leadership. I didn't just pick that. You know, that not only did I see it in birth charts, but in meditation and in quiet at times. And then when I look at my life and I realize that the grooming that was going on and being groomed for a position, that seems to be exactly what all my paths lead to. Others may have seen me in years past as flamboyant, vain, flashy. Negatives can be inflexible, loudmouth, intolerant, or judgmental. Vices, I think of my grade 1 as well, prone to negative thinking. Not as common for me now. I think it's think and speak against others, especially if I feel slighted, or even whether it's a real or perceived threat. Very sensitive to others' negative beliefs about me, very sensitive, or thoughts about me. So not only do I feel as though I can penetrate in, but I also, my own false belief can kind of come in, and I think that this person's thinking negatively of me, and then I can actually, you know, that gives me a reason to kind of just think negatively about them. Not necessarily have to say anything about them, not to be threatening. Moon sign is in Aries, 9th house. The esoteric keynote is let form again be sought. These are from, you know, past influences, unconscious behaviors, and negative thoughts that keep me reactive to the environment. Just definitely feeling like a prison. Arrogance. It's more like snobby or emotionally withdrawn, or you just don't care. You can shut off your feelings just like that. Everybody in my family can do the same exact thing. I have never seen a family so emotionally aloof. You know, you make a mistake, you turn the wrong way, and you're just done. You're cut off. Nobody wants to talk to you ever again. Stubbornness. I have a tendency to want what I want and expect it to be done. I'm a bit more patient with that now, or I expect others to be as accommodating as I am. I am very compassionate, very generous, very, very loving. I've learned about my arrogance, and I think that was definitely a defense mechanism for feeling unloved. Or
Tiffany, how are you doing with your presentation? Do you still have a lot to go?
Nope, my moon is the last.
Okay.
Yep, my moon is the last. So the Aries esoteric keynote is I come forth, and from the plane of mine I rule. Competitive and can be considered intense or masculine, very protective of my home. As a mother, I can be demanding, very protective of my children. Positive keynotes, positives to cultivate and refine is courageousness, liveliness, and a positive outlook, mental acumen, adventurous spirit. My identity is to manifest through my philosophies. I've studied esoteric studies for over, since 2002. I receive most of my guidance from the inner plane, not really through orthodox traditional practices. I can be happy and very jovial, loyal and honest, and long studies. My Aries with Mars ruling, great wars rages between the pairs of opposites that are brought into relation with one another, including awareness and attraction of the opposite sex. Mars and Taurus ruling Aries, esoteric, causes my negative Taurian traits, materialism, dependent with relationships, and likes to be possessed, needs time to assimilate to new ideas, jealous, exaggerant, stubborn. Some of my negative race 6 traits are rigid idealism, superstition and gullibility, lack of realism. I think for the most part I'm done. For the most part in this project I found my life to be fraught with a lot of challenges, but at the same time being, capable with a strong willpower to be able to bulldoze. I use the Master Moya's prayer that he says. It's one that most resonates with me. It says, "Nevertheless, I am going into a garden of beauty. I fear not the predestined gates. Why is the shield above me to safeguard me? If new dams arise, I shall cross them because I do not fear." That's all.
Well, thank you very much, Tiffany. Thank you for sharing your life with us. Truly, you've given us a really in-depth characterization of yourself. I think we all get to know you a lot better, and you've been very honest and open about that. So thank you very much. I do want to commend you on the choice of your rays. I think you're spot on. I think that your first ray, if you know what to look for in a chart, you can find it. This is one thing I learned from my friend Elena. You have to know what to look for. That first ray of yours is all over this chart, if you know what to look for. So if nothing else, let's look at all the fire in you. Fire. We have your stellium up there in the 9th house that BL is circling for you. That's all fire because it's in Aries. We have your ascendant and your sun all here. That's all fire, right? And we even have your Neptune in Sagittarius. Again, fire. So there's fire here. There's strength here. There's leadership. Leo is all about being out there and being a strong, authoritative leader. You spoke about isolation. Well, first ray is a loner. First ray does things by themselves. They don't really need others. They really don't. They're very strong. They have this inner strength, and they just don't need other people around them. There's a simplicity. There's none of those frills and cozy little things. There's simplicity to first ray. Now, let's talk astrology here. Like we said earlier to, was it Rachel or Heather, about, I think it was Heather, about having more than one luminary in the same sign. Not only do you have your Leo ascendant here, you also have your sun in Leo. And again, that's very purposeful. This is what soul chose to do for you. And as you already know, Leo conveys the first ray as well as the fifth ray. Now, we are also told by DK that our sun is our problem in the life. Many people can't figure that out. What does it mean that our sun sign is our problem in the life? Well, if your sun is in Leo, and if it is the problem, in what way is it the problem that doesn't allow you or can prevent you from going into your soul, which is also Leo? Now, you've actually, I think, worked with this combination very well, because you've talked about how your soul is your friend, and how when you're alone, it's the best thing that you can do is move into that soul space. Well, because the Leo personality, with all its hindrances, with all its problems that it has, being arrogant, being domineering, being wanting its own way, etc., which is very Leonian, can prevent one from the quietness that is needed to reach high to the soul. So again, like I pointed out before, it's for you to try to come to terms with what is it that's of the personality that might hinder, and what is of the soul. So, I mean, you've done some work on that already. You've got your Mercury right there. Again, Mercury and the Sun are one. which can give you tremendous insight and intuition. And first ray can be very intuitive because first ray is the one that sees the whole picture. It sees the all of it and can grasp immediately the essence and the importance of things. Well, your mind is right there with the sun. It can be very intuitive, very alit, very alit being lighted up, or sometimes, as I said earlier, it can get very narrow, and you can only see what you want to see, and so therefore objectivity is needed to be able to step away and to look at something objectively. And that's one of the challenges we all have if we have our Mercury and the Sun so close together. Now, we are also told by DK that on a personality level, the Sun veils. You know what we mean by veiling, right? Because the Sun is really not a planet. So we have to see what is the planet that we would substitute for the Sun. So on a personality level, he tells us it's Jupiter. And your Jupiter is up there in your stellium. It is in Aries. So there's a lot of Aries there. Okay? But it's right there next to your moon. So even though we're not talking moon, we have to talk moon because it's conjunct, meaning it's conjoined with your moon. There's a lot of moon stuff, and moon, as we know, is the prison of the soul. It actually holds us back. It holds us back. Why? Because number one, it's our emotions. Number two, it's of the past. It's all our patterns and our lines of least resistance that we fall into in times of need, in times of stress, in everyday life. Okay? And then you've got your Chiron right there as well. So this is an area which needs adjusting. So I would suggest that it's the emotional aspect of you and how you handle your emotions on an everyday basis that probably needs a little adjusting, because there's a lot of it there, whatever the Jupiter there represents for you. Some of the things that we can see automatically by having this stellium in Aries is that it can be aggressive. It can be a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of temper, flare-ups, but it could also hide an insecurity and be a very hard exterior for an insecure, sometimes inner feelings. But it's independent, it's courageous, to the point sometimes of being foolhardy. You know, sometimes not thinking it through, you see, because with a first-rate personality, you kind of see the whole picture, you kind of think you know the whole picture, and you don't always analyze. You certainly don't analyze. First-rate do not analyze. They just know. You're quick with mental impressions and quick to make decisions. So that's why I say sometimes it could be foolhardy, taking chances, taking risks, going out on a limb. All of that can be represented there as well, even with your Mercury, because there is a square there. You see? Do you know what? Do you see the square?
Yes.
The square, which means that it's a bit of a challenge. You know, it's really not quite squared. It's squared more by no, it's a trine there. I'm sorry. It's a trine, but not by sign. It's actually squared your Saturn. So there is a challenge there for you on all of that stuff. Sorry, I misread that. Okay, so opposite this stellium of yours, you have Uranus, which is, again, more fire in the mind. So there is, again, that fieriness that's in the mind. Again, it would give you a very keen mentality, and you may be making unusual, which is Uranus, attachments, which is the moon. This could lead to infidelity or trouble with the opposite sex. Or there could be a lot of changes in residences. Any of these things could be looked at from this combination. Certainly there could be emotional versatility to you and a unique outlook, outlook on life and on how you lead your life. What else do I want to say here? We talked a lot about Neptune and Sagittarius, so I'm not going to go over all of that because all three of you have Neptune and Sagittarius. I did I did make a few notes here that I missed before. I'm talking about Saturn. Saturn squaring, as I said, that stellium, and also squaring that Uranus. See how it squares Uranus? So, in fact, it forms a bit of a T-square. Do you see that?
Right.
Tiffany, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So T-squares, believe it or not, are one of the hardest combinations to work with. And why? Because it doesn't have an outlet. It doesn't have the fourth corner. So the highest point, the apex for you is Saturn. And Saturn squaring the moon might mean that you need to work hard to prove yourself. It could lead to a lot of frustration or discontentment. Maybe even the inclination to cling to the past and the past problems and crises that you've lived. It could represent a lonely childhood, and you did speak about that uncomfortable childhood that you had. Or dominant parent, usually the Saturn is usually the male aspect, and the moon is usually the female aspect. But anyway, it could definitely mean that you had domineering parents here. So that all could be represented by this. I'm pointing, and of course nobody sees my finger as I'm pointing. Then you have Saturn squaring your Uranus here. That would make you quite individualistic, which you've spoken about, being different, being individual, and having that attitude. Once you learn to overcome an inner frustration or rage, you can be hard and progressive and a hard worker. The public might even enjoy the shock value that you offer, and this is why they could be intimidated by you, because you give off this strength, this power that you do have. The other thing to note is that stellium up there in the 9th house is this is the house of travel, and you did talk about wanting to travel. This is also the house of higher learning, and you have been involved in higher learning for a long time. So the education and higher learning is something that I can see why you'd want to do that. Let's look at your Mercury again. It is the esoteric ruler of your moon, right? Mm-hmm. The moon on Aries' exoteric ruler is Mars. Its esoteric ruler is Mercury, which means that, again, there's that whole mental approach here and a keen mind, the mind that can come up with new ideas. It's a dramatic thinker, but it's a thinker that works with the heart, because Leo is about heart. Could even be somewhat visionary, romantic, or exaggerating. You did speak about some of that before. And you could be an authority on whatever your chosen field is, so that you can be the leader that you want to be. Now, it's an interesting thing that with all that first rayness that we see here, your sun is in the 12th house, right there in the 12th house, right here. And what does the 12th house usually represent? The 12th house, first of all, is a metaphysical house. It's the home normally that Pisces lives in. So it's the house of occultism or metaphysical life. But it's also, because of Pisces' sensitivity, they don't want to be seen by people. They want to be in the shadows or in behind. So we say that if your sun sign is in the 12th house, it's like having your sun under a bushel. Now, that is a little bit hard for all this aggressiveness and strength and power that you do represent up here. So maybe that is a very good thing for you, because that could tame your first ray. That could tame that domineering, strong aspect to you by having your sun in the 12th house. For some people, it makes them shy. It makes them not want to be in front of the public. I'm thinking that for you, it actually would balance out some of that strong energy. You kind of following me on that?
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
It does. Oh, good. Good, good. And you did say, did you not use the word, how did you say something? It really represented your Mars and Taurus there, and it's right up there by your MC, right up here. It's the highest point in your chart. So that Mars is very powerful and very strong for you because it's right up there. Mars is your ambition. It's the god of war, and it just pushes. It just pushes through anything that is in its way. And in Taurus, it's like the bull pushing through. You know, it's going for the bull's eye. You know,
Right.
Like in that way, it's kind of fearless. There's a fearlessness there, and there's a strength and ambition and a drive. You know, it's normally the house of Capricorn, and Capricorn is the sign of ambition. You know, it's the one that wants to succeed, and you have all that power behind you to want to work hard and to move mountains literally. You could do that. You certainly have the opportunity and the capabilities built in here. Right. What else is there to mention? Pluto, which is another first-ray planet. And why did I pull that out to show you? It's sextiling your Sun, and it's sextiling your Mercury. And I know I pulled that out to show you yet again how you use that first-ray energy. Because the sextile is not a hard aspect. It's a relatively easy aspect. It's an opportunity. So again, that first-ray energy is not hard for you to wield. Okay? Pluto can be destructive, but Pluto can also be controlling and first-ray. It can bring to the surface that which needs to be dealt with. And for you, it's in an air sign. It is in Libra. So you could have the thoughts, the ideas of that which needs to be looked at, to change ideas, to change thought, whether it's for others or whether it's for you. It's in the house of resources, and it could be spiritual resources and values that you would maybe look at and bring to the surface, or even destroy things that ideas that people have that need to be destroyed so something new can take its place. You know, there's just so many things about that we could say. Does any of that make any sense?
Of course. I do. I have a blog that kind of resounds with that, and I actually, you know, kind of just bring up issues that are outmoded. You know, they're just old thinking, old ways of thinking, and it's just really setting the tone for a different perspective for individuals to just gradually conceive of different perspectives.
Right, because you've got your Pluto there in Libra, and you have your Uranus there in Libra. Even though they're not conjoined, there's no relationship there, but they're both in Libra. And one of them is the newness, right, which is Uranus, the shattering the old and bringing in something new. And you've got the Pluto lifting up the old, lifting up that which needs to be destroyed and destroying. And it's all in the house of Libra, which is right relations, it's right thought, it's right human relations. And I think you spoke to that, right? Didn't you speak to something like that?
Yeah.
I mean, you've got all of those components there that you could definitely work with. You know? Venus in Virgo, Venus falls in Virgo, and if something falls, something else has to be lifted up, something else has to be raised. I have that combination too, and I'm always thinking, now, what is it that I need to really raise up if Venus falls? And on a physical level, on a personality level, and because it's in the first house is why I'm emphasizing this, one has to be very careful not to be nitpicky with what isn't right in a partner or in someone that that you have a relationship with, because Venus is about partners and relationships, and there's a tendency to see what isn't right and wanting to be a little critical of it. So kind of have to have a heads up on that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I anyway, other than that, I think you were dead on with the sixth ray as your soul ray and the first ray as your personality. You have the ability to have the heart, which is very Leonian, and the open heart and the expansive heart, and never lose sight of that. Never lose sight of that. And Jupiter in the heart, you know, and that's what Leo is all about. And of course, the Neptune quality, you know, bringing the ideals to others.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Now, BL.
I'd just like to point out a couple of things. First off, it was interesting when you pointed out that her moon was square Mercury, because it is actually by degree. They're only 8 degrees apart, and with a luminary you can actually take 10. But by sign it is in fact trine. So it's technically one and technically the other, which is an incongruity. So I wanted to point that out. Like everything else, it's not going to work the way you expect it, especially with Uranus in there opposite the moon and Chiron and everything. It's going to be a little off, and that shows up through the square aspect that is there and isn't really kind of a deal. The other thing I'd like to point out is let's look at the Earth and the Sun axis here. With the Sun in Leo, that means your Earth is in Aquarius, opposite it. And when we talk about the connection between the Sun and Pluto, the sextile, it's actually a trine to the Earth. So there's a relationship between those two things, and we see the same thing happening with Neptune here. Neptune is sextile the Earth and trine the Sun. And the moral with the Leo Sun Aquarian Earth is the balance between the self and the service, and your Earth is here in the sign of service, Aquarius, in the house of service, the 6th house. So the way that we get rid of those negative personality traits that we need to transform through Pluto to bring out the heart of the Sun is through the Earth and service, Earth, Aquarius, and the 6th house. I'd also like to point out that you have hard angles. You know, you've got the fixed signs, the hard signs, Leo on the ascendant, Scorpio on the IC, Aquarius on the descendant, and Taurus on the MC. So those are, you know, the tests of the fixed cross. Everything is going to be hard, and you have to fight for it. But as Eva pointed out, you have the capability of doing that.
Yeah, these are the angles of the disciple. You know, this is the fixed cross. This is the cross of discipleship. So to be a disciple is work. You know, we all are being tested all the time.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think we've gone a long time today. I think everybody did really good work. I'm sorry for those of you that are listening in if we've overgone our our time with you. But thank you all. Unless anyone wants to say anything else, I think we should end this.
Okay. Good night, everybody. I really appreciate all the hard work that our 3 presenters. Oops, let me add one more thing really quick. Okay, our next one is 3 January at 9 p.m. GMT. We pretty much have only 2 openings available in May. Okay, so anybody else have anything before we say good night? Okay then, everybody. Good night. I'm going to end the webinar, and that's going to stop all our recordings. So, bye.
Bye. Thank you all.